Welcome back to Outside Views. Today's episode is a bit special and marks the beginning of a broader series covering important and intricate post-Brexit issues. And as you're watching this, I'm undergoing tumor surgery and will subsequently spend time recovering in the hospital and at home. Therefore, for the next 2 weeks, you'll be seeing pre-filmed videos I prepared before my surgery. So thank you in advance for your continued support and understanding during this period. I truly appreciate each of you. But now, let's turn to today's crucial and timely topic. I'm glad you've joined me today as we dive deep into another critical Brexit issue, this time exploring a topic that has received far too little attention despite its potentially serious consequences. Brexit's unfinished business and the emerging threat it poses to Britain's biosecurity. Some say at least. As you know, I personally view Brexit as a terrible mistake, and today's topic clearly highlights yet another reason why. When people discuss Brexit, they often focus on the economy, trade deals, or political chaos, but biosecurity, a vital aspect of national safety, is frequently overlooked. Biosecurity involves the procedures and measures taken to protect against harmful biological or biochemical substances, pests and diseases entering or spreading within a country's borders. It's not typically headline grabbing, but when it fails, the consequences can be disastrous. In recent months, this overlooked aspect of Brexit has become worryingly significant. Following the UK's departure from the EU, Northern Ireland found itself caught between two regulatory regimes, one set by the UK and another mandated by the EU. Unionist politicians in Northern Ireland argue passionately that Brexit's incomplete arrangements have created vulnerabilities, leaving the UK's biosecurity at risk. Recently, after a severe foot and mouth outbreak in Germany, the UK government took decisive action, immediately restricting the importation of livestock into Great Britain. However, due to Brexit complications, these strict UK-wide protections were not uniformly applied. Great Britain swiftly banned imports from affected German areas, yet Northern Ireland followed different guidelines due to its unique position under the Windsor Framework. And this inconsistency is precisely the unfinished business critics have warned about. Northern Ireland, effectively part of a different biosecurity community, the EU-aligned Irish Epidemiological Unit, is subject to rules made in Brussels, not Westminster. And this complex situation places Northern Ireland in an awkward position with regulations that differ significantly from those in Great Britain. Critics, especially within unionist circles, emphasize that this is more than just an administrative hassle. They argue it's a fundamental threat to the very integrity and unity of the United Kingdom. One particularly vocal critic, a politician from the Traditional Unionist Voice, or TUV, recently tabled a motion in Parliament aimed at highlighting these vulnerabilities. His contention was straightforward. The UK's biosecurity is compromised when Northern Ireland follows EU rules that are less stringent or differ markedly from those set by the UK government. Though I fundamentally disagree with the political motivation behind this argument that Northern Ireland is treated like a foreign country, the underlying concerns about biosecurity deserve serious attention. The UK's fragmented approach creates confusion, inefficiencies, and most dangerously, potential vulnerabilities. The EU has specific protocols around disease control, traceability, and quarantine zones, regulations Northern Ireland must adhere to. Great Britain, meanwhile, applies different standards, creating potential gaps in surveillance and in control measures. In January, when the foot and mouth outbreak in Germany was announced, the British government, as I said, swiftly banned imports of livestock to protect biosecurity. Yet, astonishingly, Northern Ireland's response differed because its regulations mirrored the EU's more localized containment strategy. This discrepancy underscores a stark truth. In a crisis, Northern Ireland and Great Britain are compelled by Brexit regulations to handle biosecurity threats differently. Proponents of the Irish Sea border arrangement will argue that Northern Ireland has historically been part of an epidemiological unit with the Republic of Ireland, as a sensible arrangement given their shared land border. Indeed, this was true even before Brexit, but crucially, prior to leaving the EU, the UK and the Republic of Ireland operated within one common EU framework. Now, Northern Ireland adheres to EU standards while Great Britain operates independently, making coherent UK-wide biosecurity policies increasingly impossible. In recent parliamentary debates, this issue was prominently raised by unionist peers such as Baroness Hoy and Lord Dodds, highlighting the inherent contradictions and dangers of the current arrangement. They emphasized how fragmented biosecurity undermines the UK's ability to uniformly protect its citizens. And notably, government ministers openly acknowledged that Northern Ireland follows Brussels' lead on biosecurity matters. What makes this especially troubling is that Northern Ireland residents have no direct say in the EU's decision-making processes, thanks to Brexit. They are governed by rules made in Brussels, yet they no longer have representation in the European Parliament, and that was the wish of the majority voting at that time. And for unionists, this adds insult to injury. They argue it's undemocratic, undermines sovereignty, and fractures the UK's integrity. From a broader perspective, the EU maintains stringent biosecurity regulations designed to protect member states from outbreaks. However, this arrangement inadvertently creates risks for Great Britain because its closest neighbour, Northern Ireland, as part of the UK of course, operates within a separate regulatory environment. And the fear among experts is that discrepancies between standards or enforcement could eventually lead to weaknesses, potentially allowing pathogens or invasive species to spread unchecked. Moreover, logistical challenges intensify these risks. Companies trading between Great Britain and Northern Ireland face increasing paperwork and bureaucracy due to differing biosecurity rules. Many businesses are frustrated by the lack of clear guidance, and some have ceased trading altogether, reducing oversight and potentially creating gaps in monitoring. The complexity and confusion resulting from Brexit arrangements could thus indirectly facilitate biosecurity breaches. Experts argue for urgent resolution, emphasizing the need for coherent UK-wide standards and effective communication between London and Brussels. They stress the importance of streamlined processes to ensure prompt responses to threats like foot-and-mouth disease, bird flu, or invasive pests which don't respect borders. The UK government has begun acknowledging these issues through increased dialogue, workshops, and information campaigns. But many argue this isn't enough. Critics demand decisive political action to harmonize biosecurity measures, restore clarity, and rebuild trust. And as we've seen repeatedly since Brexit, unresolved issues lead to unintended consequences, often costly and harmful for ordinary people. The biosecurity issue underscores precisely how damaging incomplete Brexit agreements can be. Northern Ireland's unique and complex position leaves it particularly vulnerable, but the risks extend to the entire UK. As debates continue and July's regulatory next milestones approach, it's clear this unfinished business can't remain unresolved. The UK's biosecurity depends on coherent, cooperative policies, not fragmented regulations influenced by political divisions. And this brings us to the end of today's detailed exploration. And I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think Brexit has irreparably damaged Britain's ability to manage biosecurity, or can solutions still be found? Share your insights and opinions in the comments below, please. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay connected to Outside Views for more analysis and insight on Brexit and its enduring challenges. And as you've seen on today's thumbnail, in the next, I hope not too long time, you see a little marker on the right corner of the thumbnail that will tell you that that was pre-filmed while I'm recovering. I hope this will be something fast, but for the time being there will still be daily videos. As I said, I pre-recorded, but when I'm filming this, I have no idea if everything works smoothly, etc. So if you want to know something about this, keep an eye on my Discord. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.